Hi, this is Dave at Sisters Hill Farm, and I was recently featured on Chris Blanchard's Farmer to Farmer podcast, and I mentioned that my favorite tool was a diamond hone. And so I thought I'd show you how we use it. The difference between a sharp knife and a dull knife on a farm can be tremendous in terms of your efficiency. So it's a vital tool that can help you make your farm much more efficient. So this one's made by DMT. It costs about 30 bucks or 35 bucks. It's got coarse grit on one side and medium grit on the other. And so here's the typical harvest knife that we really love. These are made by Victorinox, Swiss company. And it's got a little blade here of about maybe 4.5 inches. We use this for almost everything. So a lot of people use those big harvest knives where the lettuce knives and things, and cabbage knives where you're shoving into something and then slicing it. Those have really thick blades with have a thick cross section. What I love about these is they have this very thin cross section, so you can sharpen it down to a quite acute angle, and you can push through a thick stem quite easily, and it's very easy to sharpen. So this is our primary knife. So what I do is the diamond hones really love to, the main lubricant that you'd use on the diamond hone is just water. So get the hone wet, the knife wet, and then you want to secure it to something stable, so you have a platform where you can do good work. And what I do is I'll lock an angle in, a very low angle. So anywhere between 5 and 15 degrees is appropriate, but I'll get it down about like that, and I'll hold it quite tightly in my hand. And what I do is I kind of lock my wrist, I lock my elbow, and I just pivot from the shoulder. So if you back up there a little bit, Dev, you can kind of see the motion here. So everything here is pretty much locked, and I'm really moving from my shoulder. And then what I tend to do is I'll flex the blade a little bit and get the tip in there, and I'll do little circles at the tip, and then I'll do bigger circles as I do the long straight section of the blade. And you can hear it doing quite a bit of work there, so I'm grinding fairly quickly, but I'm just maintaining that angle. I'll do that for a little while depending on how dull the knife is. And what you'll be able to see, there's a little bit of metal particles on the blade, but a little bevel there on the edge. So you want to make sure you're not making that bevel too short by laying it down at too obtuse an angle. If you do that, it's not going to penetrate the vegetable surface very well. So it would be a nice low angle. So now I'll flip it to the other side. And I'll do those same circles, approximately the same number of strokes. If I were out in the field, I would just set this on my knee as I'm working, as I'm kneeling in the field, and that would be my surface there. So once we get that, what you're going to do now is you're going to feel for a little bit of a burr. You'll drag your finger. So I just did this side, so the metal will have curled around that edge a tiny bit, and you'll actually feel a little bit of a burr there. So you want to drag your finger and feel a little resistance. Once you feel that resistance along the whole edge, and there's no spots where you don't, then you flip this over onto the blue side, and you want to use a lighter stroke now, and maybe go up in angle by like 1 degree, just a tiny bit. Do a little bit of light stroke, then a light stroke on this side, and basically what you're looking to do is just break off that burr. So that's all it takes on the medium stone. And then what I'll do sometimes is I'll back it backwards on my pants to kind of break the burr off that way too. If you see a bunch of the pieces of denim or a little bit of fiber sticking to there, you know it's probably still got a little bit of that burr hanging off the edge. So a nice way to tell if it's sharp is to put it against your thumbnail and kind of push. And if it sticks there pretty well, then it's pretty sharp. Also, if you look straight onto the blade and you see no light reflected, that's a good indication of how dull or sharp it is. So here's a blade that is really quite dull. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but you kind of see some light reflected straight at you. So now that you've got a knife sharpened, it's nice to compare what we've just done there. So here is our dull knife. And so if we were harvesting leeks, we'd strip up a leaf, strip up another leaf, and we would then set the knife really close to the roots, and we rock it a little and then swipe through. See, that one pulled out a little bit so it's not quite as nice there. It pulled out some of the layers of leek, and then you go to hack at it and it just makes a huge mess. So I don't even want to continue with that. So with this nice sharp knife, we can get a beautiful V And let's do this one from scratch here. So if we're pulling the leaves back, pull that leaf back, set our knife in close, wiggle it a little, and it comes right through. It doesn't rip anything on the far side. And there's our V. So it makes a big difference in the speed and efficiency, and also then the quality of what something looks like after you're done. So I hope that you learned something here today, and pick yourself up a Diamond Hone. Enjoy.